Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel and to my wardrobe. So in today's video, I want to give you an update of what's changed in the last 6 months. I'll be covering things that are new in, I'll talk about some pieces I've decluttered, and then also a couple of pieces that I have made myself and some of the clothing that I want to actually make and knit myself. I don't want to bore you guys to death, so I'm not going to talk about every single piece, but I will be giving you an overview of my wardrobe and also the organization. I'm filming this video today because I'm actually getting ready to move out of this apartment in 2 weeks. So I will be packing things up, and it was one last chance to show you the organization and how I set things up over the last year. I'm also so happy today to be working with Luisaviaroma. There are a couple of pieces in my wardrobe which I've had for years, and I've spotted them on Luisaviaroma on sale, so we'll talk a little bit about that later in today's video. I keep all of my shirts on this side of the wardrobe because while I get good wear from them, I don't reach for them nearly as much as my blouses, which are more front and center. So my shirts are mostly white or blue. So a lot of white shirts like this one, and then also some classic blue shirts. This is my favorite shirt here from the brand Sir. I purchased this one in Paris, and I love the color combination of the green and gray. I counted and I have a total of 15 blouses, which is quite a lot. There is a good mix of color and print though, so the most statement would be this green blouse. This is such a beautiful statement piece, but I still get lots of wear from it because I don't feel too overly dressed or crazy in it either. We've got some lovely pattern pieces. So this first one is from Douyin and it's this beautiful floral design. This is a lovely black and white polka dot print. And then here we've got a paisley. Here are a few layering pieces in the center, and over here a lot of wool jackets and blazers. It almost feels cliche to say this because everyone says this, but some of my most unique pieces are secondhand, vintage or pre-loved finds. So this leather jacket is a more unique piece in my wardrobe, and I purchased this in Paris at a pre-loved kind of little store. Same with this one. I feel like on that Paris trip I just got so many good pieces. This is a red oversized blazer. I love the color and this cool texture, and it was about 30 euros, which for a nice quality blazer I thought was really good. I own a lot of check blazers and I wear them a lot, so I'm not going to talk too much about them. And then for my particular climate, I also own some linen blazers. So this one is from Polo Ralph Lauren. I purchased this at the outlet. And then I've also got the Christie blazer, which is Cezanne. This linen blend is just really perfect for my climate. So I've got 2 of these. We're kind of done with this first section, so let's have a look at the second one. My absolute favorite thing in my entire wardrobe storage are these Muji hangers. So as you can see, my wardrobe is getting quite full, but these hangers allow me to put 3 skirts or 3 trousers onto one hanger. So it saves me a little bit of space. But to be honest, my absolute favorite thing is that I can kind of color coordinate things or group things by what they are, and it helps me find things more easily. I also just love organization in general, so I have been a little obsessed with these hangers. I've got all of my dark trousers on one of them. I've got my blue tone trousers on another, and then I basically got 2 of these for my neutral pairs. This just fell out from the side of my wardrobe, but these are some cedar blocks, and I just hang them in my wardrobe to keep everything feeling fresh and to keep away moths and other things I don't want. Miscellaneous skirts and trousers here, and then we've got my jumpsuits, dresses, and long coats. All of my knitwear pieces are stored in those Muji boxes up there, so I'm gonna take them down and just give you a very, very quick overview. Honestly, it's not like the best system. These are all my chunkier knits that are for very cold weather. Here we've got a lot of my cardigans, especially from Cezanne in different colors. These are my lighter neutral knits. These are my darker neutral knits. And this one is for handmade knits. So I've got another one that's about to go in, but this box is going to get full very soon. Now that we've done an overview, I want to talk about some of the new in pieces from the last 6 months. I've grabbed a few that I consider the highlights of the new in. I'm going to start with probably the biggest purchase I've made in the last 6 months. If you follow me on Instagram, you've definitely seen me show this already in the last week. But it is a sage colored wallet on chain. So this bag honestly has kind of a random story. I've been following a lot of like knitting Instagrammers, and I've been seeing this sage green colored yarn and sweater pop up everywhere, and it got me like obsessed with sage. I know sometimes that these light sage colors don't look that good on me as a top, so I've been thinking about it in an accessory. My mom and I were doing a little shopping in the city a few weeks ago, and I thought I'll just go in and try on this sage bag, and they actually didn't have it. They only had a small wallet. So I had to play around with that, just like holding it up to my outfit to see how it would look. Because they didn't have stock, I went online to have a look, and one of the places that had it was Luisaviaroma. And I am so happy and lucky to partner up with them in today's video. If you don't know already, Luisaviaroma is a luxury retailer, and they have physical stores in Florence, Italy. On my trip last year, I actually had the pleasure of visiting their stores, and I feel like Luisaviaroma, whether that's the store or online, just curates a really wide selection of luxury and premium brands. My order from them came in the Saint Laurent dust bag inside the Saint Laurent box, and the whole process was really smooth. This handbag purchase combines two things I was looking for. So the first was something in sage, which it obviously ticked. And then the second thing is that I wanted a wallet on chain because I really don't carry a lot these days, and I just wanted a dressier bag for daytime when I don't need to carry much. About the logo style, I feel like I'm not a huge logo person in that most of my bags, belts, shoes don't have tons of logos on them. But for me, I just kind of judge it on a case-by-case situation. If I like the bag, I'll get it. And this one I just thought was really beautiful. It has a brushed gold design, so it's not a shiny gold, and I think that makes a huge difference. It has a vintage antique look to it, and that metal finish I just absolutely love compared to something more shiny. The strap is a little bit long on me, so I've just tied it on the side with just some string. I just found some like matcha pocky I was eating. I've been using this bag, which is why it has some stuff in it, but I've got some cards, AirPods, lipstick. It fits my phone, it fits my keys, and everything that I would need to carry with me on a day-to-day basis. I would say the color drew me in the most. I love it paired with the brushed gold hardware. I think the quilting feels very beautiful in quality, and the stitching. And the chain strap for me always elevates an outfit by giving it a more pulled together look. I want to talk now about some of the sales I've spotted on Luisaviaroma. They're doing 25% off some of their new season pieces. I've been a long time fan of APC. They've got the exact bag as this one, the mini Geneve in black, and it's currently 25% off. They've also got the Sarah, which is very similar but a little bit bigger, and that size is probably what I would recommend for an everyday bag. This is on the small side if you like really mini ones. That one, I think you can fit more of your daily essentials. In the additional sales section, I also spotted a Geneve bag that is one size bigger, and that would honestly be such a great everyday bag, and it has a really lovely texture as well to bring texture into all of your daily looks. The other thing I spotted in the sales were some New Balance shoes. So I have a pair in the bright blue and then the 2002 R in white. And a lot of people have been interested in this shoe but haven't been able to find it in the style. So I spotted on their website this color in this shoe style. If that's something you're interested in, they do have that pair on sale in stock on Luisaviaroma. I've sold a bright pop of color sneaker in so many outfits, so here is some inspo if you need it. If you've been looking for any of these pieces, I will leave a link to everything I mentioned down below if you want to check out the sale before it ends. The next new pieces I'm showing you are things that I've had for a little bit longer, and the first of them is this Dowen blouse. I've had this for about 3 months now, and this has been a dream to wear. I have been craving a pop of red in my wardrobe, and this is the perfect amount of red, I think, for the everyday. I've mostly been wearing these with like, you know, taupe trousers, beige trousers, white trousers, all the trousers in neutral tones. I've also worn it a lot with my slip skirts, which works well because this is more voluminous and those skirts are more slim. I do really regret getting rid of a couple of my Dowen blouses. I feel like I'm very impulsive in that sense, so I'm just very happy to have this one back, and it will be staying here for a long time. When I was thinking about my best new in purchases, this immediately jumped out at me because not only do I love the style and the color, the fabric, I've genuinely just worn this one a lot. And I think that's ultimately always the criteria of whether something was a good purchase. Something that surprised me was this Rebecca cardigan from Cezanne. I bought it obviously because I love the way it looked with the cable design and the buttons. I genuinely have worn this so much more than I expected to. This neutral color is neither too cool nor too warm, and it's just been incredibly versatile. I think all the detail at the front is just so stunning, and I get so happy every time I wear it. Something else about the design is that it almost has like a V shape. It kind of enhances the shoulders, and then I think it tapers in at the waist, and that shape is generally, I think, quite flattering too. If I think about the new in-piece that has made the biggest difference, I think of this skirt. This is a khaki maxi skirt. A lot of my clothing is quite polished, a lot of like delicate silky fabrics, and this just adds something so different to my wardrobe. When I pair this with the tops and knitwear I own, I get something that feels a bit more young and modern and trendy, which I feel like has just breathed some new life into my wardrobe. We don't have to buy every trend, but sometimes a trendy piece will just work with our wardrobe, and I feel like that was this piece. I can definitely feel like my wardrobe is very repetitive. I know what I like and I kind of just go to it, but it's nice to sometimes have something to break everything up, and that's why I like this skirt a lot. This is from Reformation. I think it might not be available anymore, but I have worn this quite often, both low-waisted and high-waisted, just depending on how I feel. Another really great purchase for me is this COS denim dress. I mean, I've spoken about this dress a lot, and it just is because of how often I've worn it. It plays into that denim trend, which is very of the moment, but at the same time, with a denim dress, it's so timeless and classic as well. The particular shape of this dress I find really flattering because there is a bit of flowiness to it. It's not too stiff and structured, which is what I was looking for. I've been thinking more about color these days, and I do find this shade of denim to work pretty well with my skin tone, and I think it looks a lot better than light denim. This type of lighter wash denim I think doesn't look as good on me as this more medium, darker wash. Of my new in pieces, the one that I'm picking out because it's really unique is this green blouse. If this was white, navy, or black, I feel like it's pretty basic and it's a typical Cezanne style. But because this came in this really bright shade of green, I just thought it was so stunning. This green always reminds me of Confessions of a Shopaholic, and I feel like this type of green is also quite classic. It's not too neon or like too bright. It does feel quite classic of a color. This piece is fuss-free enough to wear all the time, but at the same time, you don't look too dressed up either, and like you're going to some fancy event. I'm mentioning this blouse not because it's like the most versatile, easy to wear, but it is the most unique piece I brought into my wardrobe, and I feel really special and amazing every time I have this color and this piece on. I think anything green I'm just so drawn to lately, and this is no exception. I'm wearing something different because I just got back home from having lunch with Jamie. I'm gonna put some photos up here because it was the cutest. But now I'm gonna talk about the pieces that I've decluttered. This is probably more interesting than pieces that are new in, because I am going to explain why I've gotten rid of them and why they no longer really work for me. In general, I'm pretty open to decluttering things because what I do just means that I have more clothes than needed. If it's just sitting in my wardrobe, I feel like I might as well pass it along to someone else so they can wear it instead of it just hanging and getting dust in my wardrobe. This is my declutter bag. There's honestly not so much in here because most of it has gone already, but I'm just gonna be pulling up photos to talk about the pieces. The main reason I decluttered this time round was because a lot of my trousers and skirts are just a little bit tight. So I feel like I've gone up a size. So things that were in the past borderline, I've now sold because they're just no longer comfortable. Maybe one day I'll go back down in size, in which case I'll just belt my trousers. I do it anyway, so I don't think sizing up will ever be an issue. These green trousers here were incredibly beautiful and high quality. They're from the brand Claudie Pierlot, if I'm saying that correctly. But they're beautiful fabric, beautiful quality. Everything about it is just quality. However, they were just so tight on me. And to be honest, surprisingly, I also find them a little bit short, which makes me think that this might have been a 3/4 pant to begin with. Something I'm really sad to part ways with are these rag and bone jeans. Rag and bone jeans are just exceptional in quality. I have this pair that is dark, and I also have a white pair that's still in my wardrobe. I might just grab it. The dark pair was more of a rigid denim, and it really just did not fit at all. I think when I bought it, it was already a little tight. And then given now that I've gone up a size, it was just I couldn't physically even do it up. Unfortunately, I had to let go of them, but they're the most beautiful denim quality. I purchased mine on the outnet, and if I was to do it again, I would, just in a bigger size. So after a while, I might repurchase them because I just love the style so much, but it obviously hurts a little bit to purchase the same thing in the size up. I have my white pair in the size up. These fit me really well for a long time, but again, they're a little bit small. This one's better because it has some stretch to it, but along the hip, there'll be a lot of creasing, a lot more so than the past. So again, a little bit small, but these I think I might hold on to for a bit longer in case they fit later. A knitwear piece I let go of is this Cezanne cable knit. With the patterning of the cables, it kind of extends out from the collar and then they get larger and larger down the top. This piece was stunning to look at, but I really felt like on the body, it just drew your eye to my hip and thigh area, and it wasn't the most flattering. I also let go of a few jackets, not because I really wanted to, but I feel like out of necessity in terms of space. But I also feel like they were somewhat duplicating other pieces. So one of the examples is like a black tweed jacket. It's got this white trim, and I've got a black tweed jacket that is honestly really similar, that I couldn't really justify keeping both. They were both beautiful in quality, and I felt like someone would have really loved that jacket if they purchased it. The same with this check blazer. It's really warm, really great for winter, but I have a few already that I do prefer, so that one also was sold. My End of a Stories midi skirt is a piece that I have just loved over the last few years. And again, this one just had to go because it didn't really fit anymore. It was high on the waist and it was kind of forcing the buttons to open a little bit. So that was not the best look, and I figured I've gotten a lot of wear from this. It's probably okay for me to now pass it along for someone else to enjoy. I was getting to the point where I was probably not wearing as often as I used to, so it felt like a good time to pass it on. This skirt, also really sad to see go. This skirt is so unique with the pockets on the outside. This one's from Garni, and I got it on the outnet for a really, really good price. This one had one of those pop-up buttons, so you click it together, and I was genuinely concerned that it would just like unclick itself while wearing it. If I was to sum up my declutter, it was mostly pants and skirts because of sizing. And then the other pieces I let go of were due to space, not having enough space for it, and then also just feeling like it's too close to something else I might own, and it felt silly to hold on to both when they did the same thing. The final section of today's video is going to be an update about the clothing pieces that I recently made and some of the projects I'm going to be working on for the next few months. I've been doing a lot of knitting, so they're mostly knit related, but I thought I'll quickly show you. I learned to knit when I was about 7 years old from my grandma, but I've only recently gotten back into it and gotten into garments, whereas previously I just made a lot of like scarves. This is the first garment I ever made, so it's like not the best, but it was just really great practice, and I made it to lounge around in anyway. So I need to block it, so basically soak it in water and then shape it, which will soften the shape a little bit and I think make the fabric a bit softer as well. But it's just like this really cozy, chunky knit. To be honest, it's too bulky for me to really wear it out. But I think as loungewear in the winter when it's super cold, this will actually be a great piece. My favorite thing about this is definitely the color. It is also the first thing I've made now that I've gotten back into knitting. For me to show you the second piece I made, you're gonna really have to imagine the finished construction. I was gonna seam it up last night before I showed you, but honestly I was so sleepy I just couldn't finish it. So a lot of imagination is required. The style is meant to be a very long line open cardigan. It doesn't have a closure, it's just open and very long. It will have sleeves. Here is my sleeve. It's going to attach here. And I should get a very cozy, very oversized, warm cardigan. Again, I made this to lounge around at home in, so I wanted something long to wrap around myself, and I feel like this was a pretty successful project. By the time I put this video up, I will have seamed everything together, so I will put in a clip to show you what it looks like. I thought the color of this looked really nice. It's a warm, burnt, orangey red shade, and I think it's perfect for autumn. And we're going into autumn here in Australia. I'm sure this looks so funny, but obviously all the sides are going to be seamed. All of these tail ends are going to be weaved in, and it will actually look like something you can wear. This is super long, so it really did take me quite a while. I'm also working on a piece I'm actually planning on wearing out, so this will be a lighter sweater. I think for transitional season or early winter. So I'm making it out of this yarn. I actually decided to start again because I made a few mistakes, a lot of mistakes actually. So I figured it would be better if I just started again and actually be proud of it when it's finished. I'm gonna put up the style so you know what I'm trying to make, but the fabric will be this. I'm not gonna lie, it did hurt to start again, but obviously I will unravel all of this and use the yarn, so nothing's wasted, it just took a lot of time. These are all things I'll be working on in the next few months, but for my mum, for Mother's Day, I'd like to knit her a little scarf. I'm making the Sophie scarf. This is what it looks like. I'm put up on the screen. I'll be making it out of the most luxurious material, which is like a silk, and then also I think merino blend, and I feel like it'll be really nice. For myself, while I'm working on this sweater, I'm also going to simultaneously work on something else, which is a short sleeve knit. It's going to be in this like light yellow color, short sleeve, and I think that will be a really cute piece for autumn and spring. All of these garment projects take about 20 to 30 hours, so they are big projects, but because I'm on the screen all day editing or on social media, it's nice to do something with my hands and just be away from social media during my evenings. If this sounds good to you, I highly recommend giving knitting a try. You can definitely make like shawls and scarves that take a little bit less time. They're a little bit more approachable, and I just feel like it's so fun to choose out the colors of the pieces you want. You literally can think of something from scratch, find a pattern, and then pick your own yarn and get something that feels very unique. That was my little wardrobe update and everything I wanted to show and talk about today. Let me know if you enjoyed this format of video and whether you'd like to see more of these more casual wardrobe update videos where I just talk about things I've added, things I've let go of periodically. I hope you guys are all having a very lovely week. Thank you for joining me in today's video. Thank you to Luisaviaroma for working with me in today's video. It was such a pleasure, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.